Welcome to Chicken Yard Sports. This is your host, Yak Blunderland, with Earl Blasterson. And holy shit, what a conference football weekend. We got to start it out with the Bengals coming back from 18 points down against the Kansas City Chiefs to win it in overtime after they lose the coin flip. And the Chiefs tweet, "We won the coin flip," in all capitals. That's a bad look. And the nation's team, the Cincinnati Bengals, have now won and are going to the Super Bowl.
Wait, did Kansas City Chiefs tweet that, or did Jackson and Brittany tweet
Yeah, it was Jackson and Brittany Mahomes, who now run the Twitter and Instagram and all social media for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're like, you couldn't possibly do anything more for our city than you already do, so we're giving you the keys. We're taking the keys away from Patrick, and we're giving them to you. It's like, Brittany, don't blow this opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, basically the internet was more excited that Jackson and Brittany Mahomes weren't going to the Super Bowl than they were over the Bengals having one of the greatest come from behind upsets in NFL history, dude.
Yeah. Can you think of a group of people who are less liked than Jackson and Brittany Mahomes? Like, off the top of your head? Like, it was like Kim Kardashian for a minute, but I would say if you like took a poll of the United States of America, they hate Brittany and Jackson more than like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're just really the worst people on the internet. They're just absolutely cringe. And
oh God.
And literally the only reason people even know who they are is because of Patrick, obviously. And they think that they are Patrick too. But we should stop talking about them because the Bengals are the most badass rock star motherfuckers on planet Earth right now. And Joe Burrow is literally the coolest person on planet Earth right now.
Oh, he is the actually ranked number one coolest motherfucker on planet Earth, I think was the title he was given. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs jump out. They blowed at the end of the second quarter by not cashing in any points on that atrocious play call where Patrick Mahomes tossed it backwards to Tyreek Hill, tackled in bounds. That was the half.
And Tyreek got his shit jacked up on that hit too. Like, he looked every bit as small as he is compared to everybody else out there. That was so great. Like, that was satisfying. Not only they didn't get it, but that Tyreek got trucked on that shit, you know?
Yeah. And it was beautiful. And
let's not forget, we're a little off topic and all over the place with this right now, but that first quarter was marred by some of the most unacceptable no calls I've ever seen in an NFL football game. I mean, I'm not saying all three of them should have been called, but you have to call at least one of those because they were that
and then
bad.
On back-to-back calls, back-to-back blatant pass interference, and then KC gets a touchdown out of it, and it's like,
yeah,
the Chiefs don't need the refs' help to win these football games. Yet that's exactly what they were getting.
Don't. Yeah, and it's like Bengals 3rd and goal on like the 2-yard line, and on back-to-back plays, you have wide receivers whose arms are being pinned behind them, and the refs aren't throwing flags. Like, it was just fucking crazy. And then on the next drive, they got down there in the red zone. The Chiefs basically tackled some of the Bengals, or when the Chiefs got down to the red zone, they basically were just tackling Bengals players from behind, like the offensive line was. And it's just like,
on one play there was like a block in the back, and then it was like a hold and then a block in the back on one player right next to Mahomes, right in the eyesight of like where the refs should be looking, and just no calls. And it's
and Mahomes has the chance he has the chance to roll out and throw a touchdown and act like that wasn't complete fucking horseshit. And I mean, that was like the first time really in a long time where I was sitting there thinking, like, is the NFL like actually rigged, you know? Because it's just like, I know the idea that it actually is preposterous, but when you have no calls like that, it's easy to see where people are coming from with that. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
it's
like, oh
brutal.
my God, like they really want Pat Mahomes back in the Super Bowl so they can grow like another Brady 2.0 immediately. So all of a sudden they can have like another great superstar to
Another
market
face
and
of the
shit. Yeah.
NFL. Yeah, no, 100%. But they did get someone actually, and his name is Joe Burrow.
Fuck yeah, they
And
did.
in the second half, so Casey blows it at the end of the first half, and the Bengals just start the second half, just one drive after another, marching down the field. And I mean, it started in the third quarter with a field goal. I mean, Evan McPherson, what is he? He's made like he's set
Yeah,
a
like
post
14 field goals or
for
something
14.
already. Yeah,
Yeah,
14 for 14. It's absurd.
yeah, and he has like broken the postseason record pre going to the Super Bowl. I mean, that dude. Rarely do you say like a kicker is a baller, but dude, Evan McPherson is like a certified baller as a kicker. Like it is hilarious.
Yeah, he's
And
having like the equivalent of like some 50 burgers in basketball in like back to back to back games. It's like he scored 50 points basically. Like the dude is really actually balling.
yeah, oh dude, he is very much balling. And yeah, then Jamar gets the 2-point conversion after Trent Taylor, or no, he got that 2-yard touchdown pass, excuse me. And then they converted the 2-point conversion, and just
On
like
just
that,
a perfect fade for that touchdown where it's like there's nothing you can do on defense. Like the ball was thrown perfectly, and Jamar is just that much better than everybody else. And then they did get that 2-point, and I was like, oh my God, like the game is tied. Like
this is ridiculous. And what happens? The Chiefs do nothing at all
I
in the
know.
second half, dude.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh shit. Well, now the Chiefs got the ball, like
I know.
shit.
Every time they got the ball, I was like, okay, like the magic is over. But they just got shut the fuck down in the second half, all the way until there was like 30 seconds left and they kicked the field goal to tie. Like you
And it wasn't a
shut,
short field goal either. It was like a 44-yarder.
yeah,
Like, okay, like should he make it? Probably, but if he misses, it's not like an absurd thing.
right.
But Harrison Butker is also a good
Yeah,
kicker.
he's
Makes
money.
it. So Chiefs win the coin toss. Oh my God, we won the coin toss. And get the ball. And it only took them 13 seconds to throw an interception. And then after that, I mean, the Bengals had all the momentum and just marched down the field. Like we're getting like 8 yards a carry by Joe Mixon in overtime.
I
And
still felt like they were gonna like something bad was gonna happen, like a fumble, or they were gonna miss that field goal to win
dude,
it.
everyone was watching and they were like, this is going to be some bullshit when this, like, yeah, a fumble
Yeah.
happens. And then it's going to be like, oh, sick, cool. Kansas City
Or they
won.
like kick a field goal, like the closest possible field goal you could have. You'd still just be like, something bad is going to happen and the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, just crazy. I mean, I still like am having trouble really accepting that is the reality, that the Bengals won that game and it's going to the Super Bowl, because like it was that surreal to have it happen. We never get games like that.
No, dude. And the fact that the last 2 weeks we've gotten literally like 5 football games like this has been insane. Like, I mean, this game marred the afternoon game like tremendously. Like it was such a good football game. So many highs and lows, just shots of adrenaline right into the vein.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
I couldn't even pay attention to the night game because I was just like still talking about the Bengals game. But also just the Bengals have been on an insane run since week 17 when they have this insane shootout with the Chiefs. Then the Raiders barely fucking beat them on a wild like end game with a field goal, and like then they just marched straight through the postseason. But because even their Titans game was like pretty insane. But yeah,
oh yeah, for sure.
I was saying the whole time during the AFC Championship, I was like, yeah, I mean, they're probably not going to win. And like, it usually takes a team like at least one trip through the postseason even when they're good, like Buffalo, it's like you thought last year, okay, they got that under their belt. Like you didn't expect them to beat the Chiefs really. And then they do everything in their fucking power to beat the Chiefs, and that doesn't work. So I was like, the Bengals surely can't top that,
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I mean America. I think collectively was like, man, that was really cool that the Bengals won or like made it to the conference championship. Like,
Yeah.
what a story, you know. And,
Yeah.
and then after the first half, it was like, man, you know what? Well, like the Bengals can't even be mad because they had like a hell of a
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
And then
Yeah.
it's like, wait a second, they're in the fucking Super Bowl.
And
So
also to have like Brady get knocked off, and then I mean our meme was like perfect. It's like you have Burrow, Mahomes, and then the NFC is like the best I can do is Garoppolo versus Stafford, you know.
yeah,
And we can start talking about that game where Jimmy G remains like such a liability, and I mean it's just definitely fucking over. Like the most over thing in the NFL right now is Jimmy G playing quarterback for the Niners next year. That shit
yes,
is over.
yeah, 100%. There's not a chance in hell that Jimmy Garoppolo is back. I mean, then again, like how little prayer do they have in Trey Lance? Like it's insane
I
how
know.
like he just must
You
be look
drafted
terrible.
him. Yeah, you draft him third overall. Yeah, you can't trust him to replace Jimmy G, who's playing like this. And so funny, Jimmy G played so bad in his time with the Niners that the no trade clause is now a negative for him because they can't trade him to somebody like decent. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like even
yeah.
if they wanted to, they can't. So they're just like, yeah, sorry, Jimmy, you're gonna get cut this year, and you're
Yeah.
just gonna be on your ass. Like it's so funny, dude.
It is absolutely
Oh,
ridiculous.
except fucking Belichick, if he didn't get Mac Jones, he definitely would have like signed Garoppolo and turned him into like an MVP somehow.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Is that possible?
I mean, dude, Darth Belichick can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can do
Yeah,
things the rest of us can't.
it's true. I'd say either him or Andy Reid turning fucking Alex Smith into Patrick Mahomes in that one season. Like but but yeah, I mean that game was just it was just a classic 49ers game. They looked like shit, but they were in the game the whole time. Like
And
they made it to the fourth quarter and they were winning by 10 points and Kyle Shanahan's like, this is where I excel in blowing leads is the fourth quarter. So
and I think it's like I think we can all agree that Stafford is just Goff, but better dressed. Like the guy might have better mechanics, better understanding of the game, might play better just in general, but he's prone to the same like backbreaking interceptions that Goff was. I mean, like one of them was a tip ball, so like I can't really blame him too much, but he decided to try to fit it in like a 6-inch window and missed by like a foot. And it's just like, bro, you can't do that throw unless you're gonna be perfect. Like you can't even try that one, you know. But and also like if we're being honest, like all up until Jimmy G made a fool of himself with that ridiculous like backhand toss to an interception or whatever that last play was. Like
yeah, I
the
mean, I
Niners
like
still had
he
a
was getting
chance.
shit on for that too, but it's like at that point
What
it
is
was
he
like
supposed
third
to
and
do?
12. What is he
Yeah.
supposed to do, dude? He's gotta like prayer it. I mean, honestly, you're trying to throw it at the feet of a receiver, so it goes incomplete, but he's also getting dragged to the ground. Like
Oh, I don't blame him
I'm
for
not
that.
faulting him for that one. Yeah. And honestly,
I don't
like
blame him for
he
that, but
didn't
the
play a
internet did.
terrible game that game, but he played as good as he possibly could have played, and it was still a mediocre game. And that's like the ceiling that you're gonna get for Garoppolo, especially in the playoffs, is like an okay game. But
Well, and
that's
then
not gonna win you the Super Bowl. Like okay games don't win you the Super Bowl.
I think the last time they went to the Super Bowl, they were just better at doing what they do because like that game they were just relying on Debo Samuel to basically just be a superhuman. And like while he is pretty much there as far as like NFL players go, it's like your offense can't just be one wide receiver. Like they're literally fucking lining him up at running back because their offense was so trash this time of year that like all they could rely on was Debo Samuel. So they can't go into like NFC championship games with their whole offense just being one fucking guy, you know. But I don't know what the Niners, where they go from here. But I will say that the Rams are still just the kings of like, even when they win football games, they spend like the last half of the game letting the other team get as close as fucking possible.
Yep. Accurate. It's pretty funny. But I mean, it was overall, I mean, after the the morning game. It was a boring game except
Yeah,
for
like who cares?
it was just like so anticlimactic after that morning game. But the one person who's just superhuman is Cooper Kupp. Like,
I know.
dude, I mean, he had like 140 total yards, and anytime they need a big play to happen, Cooper Kupp's like right there making like any play he needs, and he's like wide open doing it. It's like, dude, how is this dude? I mean, dude, I think we said this like week 6. Like, how is this dude so stupidly wide open? Like every time he catches the ball, he's more open than any receiver's ever been open ever.
I know, there just like aren't even defenders in the screen when he's catching footballs. It's just absurd. And they did have that one just absolute monster bomb. I can't remember if that was in the first half or the second half, but Stafford hit him through like 50 yards through the air, just like right in stride. And it's just like, yeah, that's that dank shit. But
yeah, that is that.
Yeah, I mean,
super dank shit.
We could also just talk about, I mean, I think that the Bengals are probably the better football team going into this. Like, maybe not like what they've done the last 5 weeks in my mind is way more impressive than what the Rams have been doing. Like, not that the Rams haven't done a great job to get to the Super Bowl, but like the Bengals have just been slaying giant after giant for the last 5 weeks trying to get here. Like, they are primed and ready and have just kicked the shit out of some really good football teams, you know? So
yeah, I mean,
but their offensive line is just so bad that like
it's so bad.
Von Miller and Aaron Donald might just kill Joe Burrow. Like, and we'd probably have to die as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing when it comes down to it is can the Bengals, but the thing also is like this has been said about Burrow and the Bengals offensive line for weeks and weeks now is, well, their offensive line just isn't any good. And I think everyone's almost like overhyping the fact of how bad an offensive line is after last Super Bowl because it's so fresh on everyone's mind that it's like, oh, well, if you don't have, you know, like a decent offensive line, then you're fucked because look what happened to Mahomes last year in the Super Bowl. He was running for his damn life. But like Burrow's been dealing with it all season and knows he has 1.3 seconds to throw the football on every play and is doing it successfully.
Yeah, and I think the reason I say that they're like the better team going into it is that whether it's like a combination of luck and skill, these guys are finding a way to like make shit happen when they need it to, you know? And like sometimes that's all it really is. Like everybody's talented, but like the team who can make shit happen when they need to is them. And like I think the Rams really benefit so much from their strong defense that they're never really put in those desperate positions, or not nearly as often as the Bengals are, because the Bengals are like fighting for their life every goddamn second, you know,
every second of every game. It's just like, this could be it for the Bengals.
Yeah. But they also have had some pretty big comebacks. I mean, that 18-point against the Chiefs at Arrowhead, like if that doesn't prepare you to win a Super Bowl, I don't know what was.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Fucking days ago.
No, I was fucking joking.
I know.
Yeah. Yep. I know. We'll do a Super Bowl recap here next week more. But this was more the conference championship recap.
Super Bowl recap.
But yeah,
with highlights.
What a fucking
and the NFL
game.
Can't stop us.
What a game. Yeah, what a game, and what and there was another football game that happened too. But solid conference championship weekend, and God bless it. I think we can say go Burrows.
Yeah, go Burrows for life.
Like, subscribe. Peace.